play. Greetings, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Denise Monroe Rusnak. You are present for the virtual chapter presents. This edition is featuring Ms. Eileen Franco, who will be going through a wonderful presentation with us about navigating or a holistic approach to navigating menopause. Great information for everyone, not just old ladies like myself. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and my screen moved again. I was going to read this lovely bio. I tell ya, hang on one second, we'll get it there. Or here's what I can do in the interest of time. Oh, wait, it might be, there we go. All right, back in business, sorry. So a little bit about Eileen. First, I just personally want to say, when we started connecting and discussing whether our platform might be a fit for her to share her information and vice versa, I think we just hit it off immediately. I can just already tell she's a wonderful person, has a huge heart. But more detail about her is that she has 3 children. She has 2 boys and a girl. Her youngest is 21 and probably graduated right in 2021 with second degree. My goodness, yes. Very good. High achievers. Yes. She works. Yes. Oh my gosh, this thing is moving all on its own. This is hilarious. Like, I wish you could see what I'm seeing, because my screen is literally doing this while I'm trying to read. So here's what I'm going to do.
Fine, though. Your screen looks okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, no, that screen is, but I had pulled up another screen to read your bio, and that was just going all over the place. So here's what I'm going to do, Eileen. I'm going to have you introduce yourself, and feel free to toot your own horn and shout from the mountaintops about how awesome you are, and then we can enjoy your presentation, because that's why we're really all here anyway, not to watch me fight with my computer. So take it away, Eileen.
Well, thank you so much, Denise. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to present, to talk to the women in spreading the message of wellness and to bring awareness of menopause and how we can navigate through that holistically. So like Denise says, I am a mother of 3. I have 2 older boys, and my youngest is 21. She just graduated from college. I've worked always, I was in the corporate world since I was 16, 17. I worked there until 2020, right prior to the pandemic. I was always into the software development field as a project manager. And based on my story, I left the corporate world, which you'll hear about in a little bit, and decided to become a holistic wellness coach. To serve something bigger than me. I've always wanted to make a difference in the world, and I feel like I'm finally aligned with my heart's desire, and it's being here to help women and to make a difference in their lives. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation and get started. Let me just open it up a little bit here and share the screen. Okay, give me a second. Where is my, okay. Oh, I have to do share first. Share screen. That'll help. There we go. Can you see that? Yes? Can everyone see my screen? Okay, great. Thank you, Denise. So we're the topic of discussion is a holistic approach to navigating menopause. And this is the agenda today. I'm going to give you my backstory. We're going to talk about the stages of menopause and the effects of it, what's happening in your body. You're going to learn the underlying causes of the symptoms that come with menopause, which are not nice, and what it's going to take to bring the body back into balance. And then I'm going to give you my top 3 tips to start balancing your hormones if you're transitioning. But if you're not, it's also something good that is going to help you to prepare your body to have a smoother transition. So whether you are in transition or not, this is a helpful information, and it will give you so much information about how you're going to approach menopause, because you're going to see statistics that is going to blow your mind away shortly. But first, my purpose and passion is to empower business women who are struggling with perimenopause and menopause with natural tools and strategies to lose weight and overcome the symptoms. So this is my backstory. Back in 2017, the organization that I worked with at the time was undergoing a huge reorg, and many people were being let go. I was fortunate enough to stay in the company, but I was being bounced in and out of department as a project manager working on various initiatives. I tried to leave the organization, but at the time, the job market was not in my favor. So I applied for a job internally because I wanted some stability. And in January of 2019, I stepped into a new role as a program manager. But at the same time, in the same month, my body transitioned into perimenopause, and it was complete chaos for me. The symptoms were debilitating and created daily havoc. I had severe sweating, severe brain fog, fatigue, hot flashes around the clock, night sweats, and it was really impossible to go through a day without feeling comfortable or normal, right? My symptoms were really bad. I wasn't sleeping well. Given that in 2017 we were going through all those reorg, and it was very stressful time, it got even worse now in perimenopause. I would wake up in the middle of the night with racing, anxious thoughts, and I would go to work with just a couple of hours of rest. So that was very debilitating. There were mornings that I would wake up, it was difficult to get out of bed due to the fatigue. I felt I had cement blocks in my feet, and my arms weighed heavily by my side. The doubt was creeping in, lack of confidence in my abilities were creeping in due to the brain fog, because I couldn't concentrate. I didn't understand things. I was confused. All of a sudden, everything that I had known about being a project manager was gone. And this was something I was doing for 15 years. Everything was a confusion. It was a blur. I remember one morning we had a meeting with my team. Mind you, I'd had 20 projects to manage and a team of 36 folks. And I was so afraid going into that meeting, because I was afraid that I was going to miss some important information that I needed to inform my team. It was a lot of confusion and a lot of not understanding. And then I was also struggling with unexplained weight gains for the last 2 years that I didn't know that it was because my body was transitioning back into 17. So that all combined, I went to my OBGYN and I asked her if there was something that could be given that didn't require medication. And her response to me was, there's nothing that you can do unless you take medication. So get used to it. This is the way it's going to be going forward. And that to me was a shocker. My jaw just dropped. I didn't expect that response from her. So I walked out of there with a fierce determination to find a solution to my midlife crisis. And that sent me on a research and rabbit hunt. And I went down several rabbit holes researching natural solutions that were being used by specific functional medicine doctors. And I became a guinea pig. And I started implementing these strategies until a couple of weeks later, I started to feel a lot better. My sweating was gone. Mental clarity was starting to come about. The hot flashes were not as episodic, as recurring as they were before. But then again, here we go again. There was another change in leadership 6 months into my role, and that in 8 months later, 3 months later, threw me into short-term disability with chronic stress, fatigue, insomnia, depression, and anxiety. My body gave out. I had a health breakdown. It was a combination of my perimenopause symptoms, along with the change in leadership, the demand that this new leader placed on me, and of course, everything else that was going in my mind and the brain. It affected my work performance. It affected my ability to go to do my job. So hence short-term disability. So while I was in short-term disability, I started to reclaim my health and recover my health and well-being and my body, and to continue to address my perimenopause symptoms. So because of everything that I went through and everything that I've learned, I became a certified holistic wellness coach. And that helped me to heal even further. So today I'm very grateful that everything that happened to me, because otherwise I wouldn't be here with you today. And I want you to know that you don't need to suffer through perimenopause or menopause. Menopause is not optional because it's a natural process of the body, but struggling, suffering through it is. So I believe women can thrive during menopause. They can rebalance their body, overcome the symptoms, lose weight, and transform their well-being. So that's why I'm here. So for the next 30 minutes or so, I want to empower you with the underlying causes and the symptoms that come with that, and 3 areas of wellness that is the foundation of where every woman should target to at least have a smooth transition and not have chaotic symptoms. But first, let's talk about the stages and effects of the menopause. So there are 3 stages that women go through, and that's perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. Some women go through a 4th stage, which is called premenopause, but that happens when there's an emotional trauma, accident, surgery, and quite frankly, when you don't produce any more eggs, right? So women are thrown into premenopause at that time. But perimenopause usually tends to occur in women over the age of 40 plus. And with perimenopause, you then can last from 2, 4, 6, even 10 years. It all depends. It depends on family history, DNA, your body, the lifestyle that you've conducted. So there's really no set time for perimenopause. But menopause happens, they all overlap one another, because you won't know you're in menopause until 1 year of not having your menses. And then shortly after that, you're in postmenopause. So, they're all connected and all together. It's not like, 6 months here, 6 months there. You don't know how long that's going to last. But here in the chart, as you can see, and let me shorten my view here because it's, okay, you're going to see progesterone and estrogen. And estrogen starts to decline when you're in your 30s, as you can see, and that's the orange line. And progesterone starts to decline in your 30s. And progesterone is your anti-anxiety hormones. And the symptoms of low progesterone is one of them is anxiety. It's also weight gain, insomnia, this thyroid dysfunction, inability to lose weight, headaches, mood swings, hot flashes, and night sweats. So when you experience some of these symptoms, your progesterone hormone level is low. But progesterone is your anti-anxiety. It calms you. It gives you the ability to have better sleep, lose weight, and balance your hormones. The next one is estrogen, which is the queen of queens. And estrogen tends to start declining more into your 40s, closer to your 50s. And you can see from the chart, that's when it creates havoc and chaos happens. Because estrogen really is the main, they're all the main, but this is like the top. And it prevents us from cancer. It prevents us from bone loss and fractures, osteoporosis, heart attack, insulin resistance, Alzheimer's, and depression. It also helps with, it eases vaginal dryness, itching, burning, and discomfort. Estrogen really takes you for a roller coaster ride. And the decline of estrogen puts the strain on your liver. And then when you have a sluggish liver, you're not going to have enough energy. So your organs are going to start, your body starts malfunctioning, which is hence the symptoms that many women experience, or most. Some have been blessed to not have any, and bless their soul. So moving on here. Oops. Presentation is not moving. Here are some statistics. In 2019, Corporate Wellness reported that 75% of women was going to be affected by menopause in 2020, and it'll keep rising. And that 66% was going to experience brain fog, fatigue, 98% hot flashes, which they're not good. There's no joke with that. They're not fun to have. 48% will have difficulty managing the symptoms, and 33% reported it affected their work performance. In a recent study, in a US study done by Bonafide, which is the study is called The State of Menopause, done on over 1,000 women, reported that 73% were not treating their symptoms. And female founders surveyed found 78 interfere with their daily life. Forbes magazine estimates that 1.1 billion menopausal women by 2025. So you can imagine 73% of 1.1 billion women not treating their menopause symptoms. And it's important that we do, because estrogen, as I said, it prevents cancers, it prevents osteoporosis, it prevents Alzheimer's and depression. It's very important that we address our symptoms. But what's disturbing is the outcome of it. In a UK study of 1,000 women, 70% of women backed off from pursuing the corporate ladder. They decided not to rise up the company or quit their job. And this University of Nottingham reported that many hide their symptoms because of fear of negative impact, especially if it was a male boss that they had, or a young boss, or both. They would just not felt comfortable, and I can understand that. Sadly, only 1% reported that their employer provides support, and 90% of the women are not prepared for this transition. That was me. I did not know how bad it was going to be and never cared to look into it. And that's why I want to spread the message and bring the awareness. So what's happening in your body? Let's talk about that. Your reproductive system decided to retire and say, I'm not doing this anymore. No longer I'm going to produce sex hormones, which is the estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Your body is passing the baton to the adrenals. And now it is the responsibility of your adrenals to produce the sex hormones. So what is the adrenals? The adrenals is part of, the adrenals produces cortisol, and is part of the HPA axis. This HPA axis is a set of three systems, which is the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the adrenals. And it's a neuroendocrine system, meaning that it deals with both the brain and your hormones. I call it the command center because it controls, it really has a critical role in our body. It regulates our stress response, digestion, our heart, our immune system, mood, emotions, our sexuality, and central nervous system. So this part of the brain, the HPA axis, does not contain any barrier and is prone to high toxic load. So as you can see here in the chart, if there is an incoming threat, the hypothalamus will trigger the HPA axis, and that's the fight or flight response. And all these hormones are secreted, and the adrenals starts to secrete cortisol because the body is getting ready for survival mode. At this moment, your body is not thinking about anything but survival. It even shuts down metabolism. So what happens is that there could be consequences when we're constantly stressed out. If you're a woman that is always on the go, 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 overwhelmed, living on the edge, exhausted, poor diet choices, and with inability to say no, you pile more onto your plate, that stress is going to cause a dysfunction in the HPA axis. And what's going to happen is that your adrenals is going to be overworked, overloaded. And on top of having to produce cortisol to keep you going in the flight or fight response, is going to have to produce sex hormones. And guess what happens? That's going to happen very minimal, because we're not going to get the sex hormones that we need. Hence, part of the culprit of why we experience a lot of issues and our hormones are no longer balanced. It also leads to our liver being congested because it cannot metabolize cortisol. And that overproduction of cortisol leads to adrenal fatigue. And this, let me tell you, is not a medical diagnosis. They don't recognize this in the medical industry. When I went to my doctor with this after I did my research, and I was telling her, well, maybe my chronic stress and fatigue is adrenal fatigue, she took my article and said, okay, I want to read up on this. And that was really nice of her. But this is when mostly 66% of the population of women have exhibit some symptoms of adrenal fatigue. And what that is, and the classic symptoms of that is the waking up in the middle of the night with anxious thoughts, the fatigue, the brain fog, anxiety, insomnia, as you see listed here. And there's several phases of it, which is the overactivation of the adrenals, which is the overproduction of the cortisol, right? There's a lot of stress the body's producing. And if you don't give your body a chance to calm down, this is what's going to lead up to adrenal fatigue. The next thing that's also contributing to the chaos that is happening in our body is there is a hormone hierarchy. I mean, you have the command center and now another hormone hierarchy, which is your main hormones on top of the adrenals and HPA axis hormones too, right? You have your oxytocin, you have cortisol, insulin, but look at it this way, they're a team. So your CEO is oxytocin, cortisol is your senior vice president, and insulin is your vice president. And your directors are your sex hormones. So some women want to just balance their hormones, straight go to estrogen, progesterone, but it's not going to happen, because if you don't take into account the top three, you're not going to be able to balance the hormones. Oxytocin controls cortisol, cortisol controls insulin. And when oxytocin is low because cortisol is high, your insulin level, hormone level is high too, which means you're storing fat. Hence, the reason why we don't lose the weight, the unexpected weight gain. Your insulin level is high and your body's not burning it either. So that makes you also leptin resistant, because your leptin hormone is sending a weak signal to your brain telling it, hey, burn fat, but it's so weak. Your brain thinks that you're hungry. So then your hormone ghrelin takes over. Oh, she's hungry. Let's eat. And it's because you're leptin resistant too. So there's a lot going on, especially when we're transitioning, especially if we have a busy lifestyle and stress is just the order of the day. This is what's happening here with the cortisol and the insulin level, right? So in addition to that, we experience a high toxic load. There is toxicity in our environments, our foods, skin, home products that we use. And these toxins accumulate in our bodies, in different parts of the bodies. Like I mentioned, the HPA axis does not have a barrier, and it's prone to high toxic load. There is the liver, our organs, what we drink, right? In the foods that we drink, we ingest those toxins. And these toxins are eliminated by our liver, which we have to love our liver. These toxins cause inflammation, damage our DNA, affects estrogen, our main hormone. It causes metabolic disorders like diabetes and obesity. As you can see here, these are very important. It's in our food. The current agricultural practices is, heavily sprayed with chemicals and pesticides. There's meats that have added our proteins, is added hormones, which is not good. You have to start reading labels. Make sure you don't consume food with added hormones. Makeup is, and our skincare product is toxic. There is an app called Think App that tells you how toxic is your makeup and the product that you're putting on your skin. And that all affects our cellular health, because what happens is when there's toxicity, our cellular health is jeopardized. And this is what contributes a lot to the symptoms, because our cells is inflamed. Toxins start surrounding the cell membrane, as you can see from this little chart, and it creates that membrane becomes so rigid that hormones, the little bit of hormones that the adrenals can produce, won't be able to get in, and nutrients won't be able to be absorbed, but that also means toxins won't be able to get out. So it's kind of like a no-win situation with toxicity. And it's important that we heal at a cellular level. Otherwise, nothing is sustainable. So organs that need to be that we need to focus on for healing and detoxing is our brain, our liver, our gut, because our gut also breaks down estrogen, our adrenals, which we spoke about, and thyroid. There's a lot of thyroid dysfunction, many having hypo or hyperthyroidism. Sorry, I can't say that word. Excuse me. Another thing that can contribute to the symptoms going crazy is your diet. So if this is your diet that is comprised of the standard American diet, 60% of that diet is refined sugars, your pastas, your grains, your bread. And these are simple carbs that spike your insulin levels. So guess what? You're going to be storing fat. And then you have toxic oils that we're cooking with, and that causes inflammation. These are toxic oils that we need to remove. There's alcohol. Wine can exacerbate the symptoms as well. I know for me it does. Maybe 1 cup is okay, 1 glass. But other than that, then it just starts triggering a lot of hot flashes. Sugar is your main culprit because it causes a lot of inflammation. And then you got the hydrogenated fats, the oils, the trans fat, all of that, the margarines. These are not good for you. White flour, nothing that is simple is good for your body. So in summary, the culprits are the passing of the baton, your adrenals now are in charge, the toxins in your body and main organs, cellular inflammation, stress and or adrenal fatigue, a congested liver, because that's the main organ that processes all these toxins out, and cortisol. Then you have insulin resistant, you're storing fat, then you're not burning fat because leptin is high, and your lifestyle is not one that is more rest and relaxation and managing your stress. And then your diet. And it's all about having a balanced body. All these areas need to be addressed and targeted. So what does it take? It takes a holistic approach. And I found that I cannot stress enough, self-care, self-care, self-care. So the current lifestyle that you have up until the point that you start transitioning will no longer serve you. I mean, I know I love to have my fast food once in a while, but I couldn't do that for a year and a half or so until my body was reset. And now I don't want to mess all the efforts, but you're going to have to change your lifestyle if you're experiencing drastic chaotic symptoms and your body is just really needing the support, because your body just is with the symptoms, it's just telling you, please, there's something going on, I need help, something is out of balance. And if one area is out of whack, all the other areas will be as well. You need to support your body through the transition. And for me, I found that it's more, and you need to target at least 10, close to maybe 12 areas. And I did that for my well-being, to recover my well-being using natural tools and strategies. This is how I was able to recover my health and wellness and transform the perimenopause symptoms. And this is part of these are the 10 areas as part of a program that I'm launching in September. And we're talking about detoxing. We got to detox our body. We got to address stress and support our adrenals. We got to change our diet. We have to change our mindset, because now it's going to be a new mindset that is going to be targeting a new lifestyle, and you're going to come up with resistance from that, because you're in a comfort zone and now you're transitioning to something new. You got to work with your hormones, the command center, the HPA axis, and the hormone hierarchy. We have to address all that. Movement and exercise, we know those has always been top priority. Diet and movement, those are priority, but it also encompasses all these other areas. We want to look at, make sure our cellular health is, we improve that. Skincare is important for women when they start transitioning, because we no longer have estrogen, so our skin starts getting drier. Sleep, with the stress and progesterone, we have to make sure we improve our sleep. And then, of course, build our microbiome. We want to have good gut healthy bacteria to help us break down estrogen, to also diminish depression and anxiety, because there has been studies that have been found that depression and anxiety is not so much of a mental disorder, but more of a microbiome issue. We don't have enough good gut bacteria. And that's because medication, especially antibiotics, decimate our microbiome. And your metabolism, you want to kickstart your metabolism so you can lose weight. And it's important to lose the weight, because the extra estrogen, if your liver is not getting the estrogen out, breaking down estrogen, and when it does, there's good estrogen and bad estrogen. That bad estrogen is stored in fat cells, and that leads to estrogen dominance. And that's not good either, because that gives you a whole host of other issues, and there's heavy bleeding there. So it's very important that we definitely take a holistic approach to healing, resetting our body, and healing and detoxing. So I invite you, if you're interested in learning more about the program starts in September. There's an introductory offer. I invite you to schedule a free 30-minute discovery call with me if you want to learn more about the program, and I can learn more about your challenges, your wellness goals, and see how, if we're a good fit. You can book a call at my website, radiantwellnessco.com, or you can go to calendly.com and search for Radiant Wellness Co. But the cost of inaction is tremendous. If you continue to struggle, you will continue. If you don't do anything, you'll continue to struggle with the high and lows. It'll affect your daily life. You'll burn out. You'll be frustrated, potential health breakdown, like what happened to me. Your your performance will be affected by it. Lack of confidence can start creeping in. You'll question your abilities. Your career, climbing the career ladder is in jeopardy. Risk of chronic diseases that I've mentioned, depression, dealing with depression and anxiety. I never dealt with anxiety until I transitioned into perimenopause, and that was huge for me. Not feeling yourself again and loving your body, that's huge. I mean, you want to love your body, right? You want to love yourself. And some marriages take a hit with perimenopause or menopause. In forums that I've participated on Facebook, there's just women saying, oh, my boyfriend just left me. Oh, I'm separating, because there's just a lot of miscommunication and not understanding what women go through. So it could lead to separation and divorce. And there's probably others, but these are the main ones that I pointed out. So what does it take to start? What do I do? What do I do? What you need to do, these are the foundation, because without this, going straight to balancing your hormones is not going to cut it, because you still have the hormone hierarchy. And if you have stress, you need to deal with that as well. And whatever you do, you may see one or two, maybe a little drop of change, but it may not be sustainable. It's very important to start with the foundation, to go to the underlying cause, target your cellular health, because that's where it all begins. And it's my number one tip is reduce toxicity and inflammation. That was the first thing I did. I targeted that to begin with, because I was trying to lose weight 2 years before and it didn't work, nothing that I did. And I spent too much money and nothing worked. And what's the benefit of detoxing and reducing inflammation? Well, toxins get out of your body, right? You reduce inflammation, your symptoms are going to go down. You won't experience much of the chronic pain, the hair loss, the brain fog. Your thyroids are going to be healthier. There will be less chance of autoimmune conditions and depression and anxiety. Your cellular health improves. And one of the ways that I did that, and then in the fastest way to achieve that, was through fasting. And there's numerous of studies out there that have been released by the New England Journal of Medical Association. If I said that right, I always get that confused, so I apologize if I didn't say it right. But they are doing a lot of research on fasting and hormones, and they're coming out with all of these benefits. It does deep cellular detoxification. It repairs damaged cells. It brings down inflammation just with intermittent fasting alone. And there are several types of fasts that go deeper for deeper healing. You have greater weight loss. It improves metabolic function. There has been functional medicine doctors that have healed patients from diabetes to type 2 diabetes just through fasting. The longer you fast, because they're different type of fast, you generate new stem cells. For instance, 24-hour fast generates new stem cells for your intestines. I had a client once that she was having a digestive issue, and she did a 24-hour fast, and it was all gone because her intestines were just regenerated. It delays aging because you start targeting cellular health and improving that. And your memory and focus becomes insanely crisp and clear. No more mental fog or confusion or blur. When you're fasting, your ketones are produced and it repairs your brain, preventing Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And especially human growth hormone, which is cell regeneration, that starts to decline in our 30s. So fasting helps to even produce that. And that's what we want, because we want longevity. Our immune system is strengthened. And again, our bad cells are repaired, sleep is improved, and so much more. Tip number 2, you want to manage your stress. You definitely, if that's the lifestyle you have, you want to start managing your stress. And this is just a few of the things that you can do. I did most of these things when I was transitioning and when I was in adrenal fatigue. You have to increase oxytocin levels because that's your love hormone. Oh, let's fall in love, right? Or pet your puppy or hug a loved one. They say get 8 hugs a day from a loved one and or a pet. So increase that, laugh, watch comedy, do what you love to do, go for a massage, participate in a community group. Serve others if that brings you joy. Meditation and prayers, oh my God, they really help. Yoga, that was one of my go-to. I still do yoga actually. Color or paint, I love coloring. I still do that. Crochet or knit, listen to music, do your favorite hobby. Be in nature. I love going to the beach. The beach just has such a calming effect. Journal your thoughts. Journaling is so therapeutic. It's amazing. And read a book that will transport you to another world, another galaxy, another fantasy world, but let you forget about reality for a little bit. Tip number 3, embrace a healthier eating lifestyle. I mean, like, that's a given, right? Because if you do that, you'll reduce cellular inflammation through the foods that you eat. You'll have energy, mental clarity. You'll minimize or eliminate your hot flashes and night sweats. You'll balance your hormones naturally. You'll lose weight because to be honest with you, losing weight is not so much about counting calories. Yes, it does to some extent, but it's more about managing the hormones, that hormone hierarchy, that team that's together, and macros. And that, and if you eat with good food, that will help you to lose weight. You want to delay aging, increase longevity, and you want to age gracefully. I mean, you don't want to age with aches and pain. So your nutrition should be clean, no GMO, organic, wholesome foods. You want to have lots of greens and vegetables, eat the rainbows, complex carbs. You want to have grass-fed meats. Your proteins should be grass-fed. Good oils, olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. MCT oils is mostly for people that fast like me, so I put it in there. You can have in your coffee. These are quality fats. You want to have good, high quality fats. Seeds and nuts, if you're not allergic to it. Ferment for your microbiome, to build your microbiome and your good gut bacteria, you want to have fermented foods, prebiotic and probiotic foods, polyphenol foods, coffee, tea. You want to be selective with your dairy because some may contain hormones, and you don't want to be ingesting hormones in your body, additional ones. And then you have low glycemic fruits, because sugar is the culprit, right? And there's some fruits that are high in sugar. And it's not that it's bad because they're natural, but you want to keep your low glycemic fruits until you get your body back to where you want to be. And those are your berries. Those are the lowest, I find. And then there's supplements, natural supplements that can help you along in the journey. There's maca. Maca is amazing. You can find it at Amazon. And it's great for balancing your hormones, for energy, for low libido. It has a whole list of benefits. You can Google it and or look up in Amazon. There's turmeric that reduces inflammation, like chia seed, hemp seed, flax seeds. All of these helps our hormones and help with inflammation. And then of course I list the G bombs here because it's very important that we incorporate these foods into our daily eating lifestyle. So the next steps is to download my free ebook that I have for you guys. Thank you for being here and listening to my presentation. That's all I have for you today. You can download my ebook, The Top 3 Tips to Start Rebalancing Your Hormones. You could go to my website, radiantwellnesscode.com. I forgot to put the www there. Rebalancing-hormones. To download the ebook. It has the information I just gave you, so you didn't have, if you didn't write notes down, that's okay. You'll get that in the ebook. So I hope you feel empowered. I hope you feel that this has been beneficial to you. Please connect with me. I'm in Instagram, Facebook. You can join my group, Creating a Hormone Balanced Lifestyle, where I give tips and I do the weekly trainings on not only menopause, but also, since I'm a holistic wellness coach, I target other things like emotional health, spirituality, nutrition, of course, menopause, hormone health, and career, financial, stuff like that. And then, of course, these are my contact information, and that's my website, www.radiantwellnesscode.com. And that is it for me. I hope that you are feeling empowered. Thank you for having me and for being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eileen. Oh my goodness. Yes, we will be distributing the recording. That is a lot of information. We'll open it up for questions in case folks have any. I know something that I wasn't aware of and maybe even had a completely different understanding as far as the oils. The sunflower I thought was a good oil. So what I understand to some degree how the oils that you presented are better. It's because of the type of fat that they come from, I think, essentially like the avocado. So what was that? It was like sunflower, and there was another one. I was like, I thought those were good.
Well, safflower.
In this context. Yeah.
Vegetable, canola oil, corn oil, your safflower, sunflower. I mean, they cause inflammation. So you have to be very careful. I did a research and I looked at the process, and these oils are bleached. Yes, exactly. That was my reaction, Deneen. These oils, the manufacturing process of these oils is that they're bleached, and then they're bombarded with other chemicals. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want that in my body. No wonder they cause inflammation.
That makes sense. Absolutely. And it looks like Joanne has a question. So
Yes.
how do you determine what type of fasting to do? And she also said it was very comprehensive and easy to understand. So
Oh,
thanks,
that's great.
Joanne, for that.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you so much for that feedback. It's very helpful to know. Well, it depends on what you're targeting. There's different type of fasts. You definitely have to start with intermittent fasting, and that's anywhere between 13 to 15 hours. You have to build a fasting muscle, because if you jump right into it or to the other ones that are longer, it's not going to be sustainable. So you have to start with fasting every week, increasing that. And this is part of my program where I teach the women how to fast, how to build a fasting muscle to get to the point where they can start fasting and cycle through the different type of fasts. But there's, oh my gosh, there's about 7 or 8 of them off the top of my head. There's the intermittent fasting, there's autophagy, there's OMAD, there's the 36-hour fast, there's the immune reset fast, there's a 3 to 5 day water fast. There's plenty of them. There's a dopamine fast too, actually. There's plenty of them. Each depends on what you're targeting, but definitely you have to start with your 13 to 15 hours first before you dive into anything else.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes.
Monica.
Yes.
I was like, I know she has.
Ooh, there's some feedback there.
Yeah, it's total feedback, and I know. Type it in the chat.
Yeah.
Mute and type.
Let's see. Well, it's good to mix up the fasting. Yes. I mean, you shouldn't be fasting. You should break in and out of your fasting every once in a while, because that's also going to help increase more your results. Absolutely. You can mix them up if you want to. Any more questions?
Here we go. Does your program cover hormonal related acne associated with menopause?
Well, not necessarily per se, but the program targets being able to detox your body and acne and your microbiome. And your skin microbiome is it all related to what you eat. So it's definitely, well, you could say it's not necessarily acne, but you do target that because we're going to improve the microbiome and build the good gut bacteria, and that affects your skin microbiome. So for sure it does. You're welcome.
Excellent. And that is the
yes,
the tricky part, right? Everything is so interconnected, and that's why I do love that you do have a holistic approach, because when and if we're out there seeking assistance, it seems to be simple to find these targeted little moments, right? But the whole picture is really what's most important.
Yeah.
Looks like Joanne was asking about the things in postmenopause.
Yes. So before I answer that, going back to what you mentioned, Deneen, yes, you find all these functional medicine doctors, they focus on a particular area. One focuses on microbiome, one focuses on the nutrition, and they cost, these programs, they could be several $1,000s. Whereas I do a holistic approach and teach everyone the strategies and tools. But to Joanne's question, yes, I approach it from a person that even has a cycle, that's in experiencing a period, still having a cycle, all the way through postmenopause. Yes. Because it's all interconnected, it's all related. And those hormones, they're just there for it. We all have them.
Right. And Eileen, could you put the slide back where you have the link to your book? I'll put that in the chat as well. It'll all come back. We put the survey there, so please, folks, take a minute to provide Eileen with some feedback. I'm just really super excited because this is an emerging journey for Eileen, and that's part of our mission as what we do as an organization. I think I myself am just personally wired that way also, but I could say that for everyone on the call that I know, and I think that's what has essentially brought us all together.
Yes,
So
yes.
double check me.
Put the www in there, Deneen. I totally did not realize I didn't have the W.
Oh, okay, wait. So yeah, don't do that. Oh goodness, here I'm going to do it this way.
I don't want people to have problems in not finding and downloading.
Right. I'm going to do it this way. And again, I will verify and we'll make sure all of this comes with the follow-up. But given that I am one of those folks that Eileen described that does too much, and I think, I know if there's a few of us on here, if you can't wait that long, if somebody wants to test that to make sure that's working okay. But we will be sure that the links and everything are working properly when I send out thank you, Monica, when I send out the summary review and the replay. So
that would be great. Thank you so much for
call. We have oh my gosh, no, thank you. I'm just excited to be able to help you amplify your story because it is so important. And, I have a nursing background. I'm a woman. I, have these parts, and I know this is a thing that's part of my life. And yet,
yes,
much of the information, anything that I did know, I ended up finding on my own, and it wasn't in my profession as a nurse. It wasn't necessarily, part of being a patient or, just someone who's seeking healthcare. So I applaud and I thank you for sharing this information because this is information, and just women or people who have uteruses, I suppose I should say,
yes, exactly.
Shouldn't be the only ones concerned or educated about this, because we all know someone that has or has had a uterus. So that means we all know people who are or will be impacted by these things. So that's kind of my tipping my advocacy hat again, that we should know this stuff. I mean, and same for, people with testes. I mean, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff going on over there that we don't know about either.
Absolutely.
Doubt it's as involved, but that might be my bias.
No, I totally agree, Deneen. I think that for me, like, it never dawned on me that I'm going to go through this. What do I need to know? How do I need to prepare myself? What's going to happen to my body? What? It didn't happen until it hit me like a train on steroids. Like, really, it was like full speed ahead. And, it was really detrimental and debilitating. So I feel, the health breakdown that I had with all the factors combined, I want to spread that message and bring awareness to especially corporate women because we are stressed out.
Yes. I can think of, tons of scenarios. But yes, there is a specific extra stress in that arena as well. And I think, the pandemic and everything just really exposed a lot of that. Could you also, Eileen, go back to the slide with the book link, and we'll put that one in here too, or is that at the same place?
Okay, so this is for the ebook. The ebook is https://www.radiantwellnessco.com rebalancing-hormones /
Okay.
And I believe
So I do have that in
Mara,
there, but yeah, I'll
for
pull
the
that. I can't remember what I did. Like, did I
That's
do
for
the
the
thing?
that's for the ebook, and for for anyone that wants to know more about the program and is interested in the program that's going to launch in September, and wants to have a free 30-minute call with me to learn more about it, and we can talk about their challenges and make sure we're a good fit. They can go to my website at www.radiantwellnessco.com, and under the book discovery call menu option, schedule a call there, so we can chat for 30 minutes and get connected.
Excellent. And I'm going to go, and I do recommend folks if to save the chat. I will pull this also from the recording and send it. But for those of you, if you aren't sure how to do that, in the chat box, so if you click on the chat balloon, or you should have your chat open in the bottom right-hand corner, if you see the 3 dots, well, actually, you don't even have to do it that way, but let's go that way. The 3 dots, if you click that ellipsis there, the 3 dots, you should get a menu that pops up and says Save Chat. So save the chat, and you can go back through it. It'll sort of auto-download in a space in your computer. And usually it's the downloads or somewhere, and you can do that. And we will also, of course, send that with everything.
Yes, absolutely. And I totally agree with Joanne. She mentioned something which is my top of mind, which is why I'm starting with organizations such as PBW International, because I just love the initiative and preparing women to become professionals and climb that corporate ladder. Definitely is to go into organization and companies and to present this information, because many women don't know this, and my work didn't support me, and hence, but it happened for a reason, because now I'm going to be one to, go around.
Absolutely wonderful. And you're so, so right. Bye, Dr. Trish. It is, it can be overwhelming, and yeah, it's not looked at, and it does impact the bottom line. For some of the work that I do, we actually have a calculator that calculates the cost of depression. This was pre-COVID.
Wow.
And we're not talking about people who became so clinically depressed that they were prescribed time off or had, as you said, like a medical short-term disability. The cost of it for people who are still forging ahead, the impact of productivity has dollar signs on it. And unfortunately, I feel like that is what would ultimately make some more folks listen. I think we should get to it before that, but unfortunately, speaking the money language is sometimes what it takes. But regardless, I appreciate and thank you, and carry on.
Thank you so much,
and anything we can do. Yes, thank you. We're so happy to have you. One last shot for questions. We're about, well, actually, I think I scheduled to 8.
Monica has a question.
But your hand's still up. Okay.
Her hand's raised. Oh, okay.
Try that microphone again. Yeah. Okay. That's so good. All right, folks. I thank you. Thank you so much, Eileen. Everyone will be getting a copy of the recording.
Yes.
And the chat and all of the great links. And of course, you can always just reach out to me through the website or through the virtual chapter email, and we'll get you connected with Eileen. So wonderful, wonderful evening. Enjoy, everyone. I'm going to go eat the food that you just talked about us not eating. Now that it's 8 p.m. and I intermittently fast.
That's awesome. That's a good start.
Well, it's accidental. It's not for really good reason because I'm just running around, and I'm not a morning breakfast eater necessarily, unless like I'm on vacation or something. And I just kind of run and go, and so I find that I don't have an appetite, and then I'm like, oh, it's 8:30. Maybe I should eat something.
Yes.
So
It's not intentional, but it's good. Your body is still, you're still getting some benefits. It's helping to
I think it has been a blessing. Yes.
yeah, it lowers inflammation and it helps to lower blood pressure, and it's doing some healing, some sorts. Absolutely.
You're right, because I just had this light bulb moment. So when COVID hit and we were in lockdown and pretty much at home, my pace shifted. And so I found it that I was able to eat more, maybe not that I necessarily wanted to, but I did because I was here. And I just got bad. Like, I gained weight almost immediately. I got every single thing that you pointed out,
Mm-hmm.
I experienced. And I think it was because I wasn't having those long breaks without eating that my body was used to. Well, hot dog, look at that. Okay.
No, it does. I mean, fasting, the studies have been tremendous. And if you ever want me to send information on that, Deneen, let me know. I can send you some.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I would probably benefit from having an actual more intentional and purposeful method to my madness that is just me being busy.
Yes.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll be putting out a guide to intermittent fasting, and I can send it to you once I'm done. So no worries.
Absolutely. Excellent. And would it be okay to share it with the attendees?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I'm gonna get ready to put that together, and I'll send it to you once I get that done. And actually, it's part of my program, so I could give it to you guys. That's not a problem.
Perfect.
Excellent. All the types of
Eileen.
Huh?
Yay. Excellent. So folks, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much, Eileen. Please continue to be a friend of Virtual Chapter and NFBPWC. Those of you who aren't familiar with us, you can visit us at nfbpwc.org. We hope to see more and more of you more frequently, because this can bring you a lot of joy, a lot of education, a lot of connection, and in my opinion, that's kind of what makes the world go around.
Absolutely.
So, signing off.
Absolutely, we can do that, and we can do that, and I'm looking forward to it. And also, there's so many topics we could dive in deeper to. This is just like, just for an hour. There's a lot to cover in all of these individual areas.
You're right. You're absolutely right. We can get into the weeds, as they say.
Yes.
Excellent. Perfect. Because we're always looking for more programming, and I'm definitely keeping this top of mind. So
okay,
thank you all so very much. Thank you again, Eileen. Everybody have a great night. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Take care. Bye-bye.